What's up, guys? My name is Pico, and I'm here with Bobby.
I'm Bobby Anera, DBOG YouTuber, former Final Stand YouTuber. I guess, even though I still upload it from time to time when DBOG content's down. But yeah, I'm just here to talk about my own opinions about the game and everything with Pico.
And before we get started, if you're wondering where Gray is, well, he could well, he can make it, but our guest would prefer it just to be two people, so which is fine. So
One-on-one
we're gonna
convos,
just
more comfortable with and everything.
right. So without further ado, we can get started.
Yeah. So, do you want to
So you
start?
can start off like, what do you want to say about the game so far, from a casual standpoint?
Yeah, so people might look at me as a YouTuber and be like, "Oh, he tryhards the game," or like, like some people would think that, or some people would be like, "Oh, he just plays for content. He doesn't really like the game." Um,
Hmm.
no, I love the game. I really do. I like playing it. Um, Even when I'm not recording, I'm playing it. I'm playing it, when it's up at least. So, from a casual standpoint, which is what I would consider myself, because I've indulged in the PvP enough to have enough understanding. I've indulged in grinding enough to have an understanding. I've played the game enough. Um,
Right.
so just with my thoughts on the game overall. Now, do you want me to start with like from a developing standpoint or like just as a like playing?
For now, start as for a player.
So
We'll move up to the developer later.
as a player, and this is both with playing and developing, obviously the updates take a while to get out, but that's to be understood really with everything that's been happening. It's really unfortunate because I'm sure that future updates won't take this long, and I know we've been saying that about the past two, which is the Cell Saga and
Hmm.
now the Space Saga, which we originally thought would be the Boo Saga, but it's
Right.
the Space Special Saga sort of thing.
Hold on. Let me add on to that. Yeah, like I do agree. These updates have been taking a while, which like it's a shame that it's happening, but it has been taking a while. But it also back in the day, probably like last year, Sony like when waiting for Android Saga was probably worse because there was nothing being updated. There was like through the update through space, like for once Cell
Yes,
Saga
I know
released,
what you mean. I know where you're going.
yeah, like he's been dropping the small content updates, which everybody loves and what they
Yeah,
wanted him to be
I
doing. So like
absolutely.
I think there's an improvement being made, but the updates are still long. But he's still keeping the community a bit
I can add on to this.
hot.
So the only thing that I
Hmm.
remember between Namek and Future would be like the Tuffle race, I believe, right? Like that's the only thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, the best month for YouTube that I've ever had would be the month where Sunny went like developing Super Saiyan mode and added like for like 2 weeks straight, every day or every other day, he added something new to the game. Like, I don't know what this man was on, but like he just like Dragon Balls came. Like
That was
honestly,
literally
I could try to bring it up on
peak,
my
bro.
YouTube channel. That was the peak DBOG experience as a YouTuber for
It
me.
really was. Players were rushing in. We had so like those.
It
It
was
was just. It
great.
wasn't even saga updates. It was just content, which people really wanted. Dragon Balls were so fun to look
Yeah,
for,
at the start at
and the wishes
least.
were worth it
The wishes
at the
are
start.
pretty strong, yeah. So the first thing I believe was Slingshot was removed, and then
Hmm.
Slingshot got like added again but nerfed, and the Drip Goku was added, then
Yeah,
Dragon Balls, then the radar and also other updates. I'm
the
just looking at my
Kaioken
YouTube
update was also
titles.
really good.
Yes, Kaioken was really good. EXP was buffed. Photo mode,
Mm,
new attacks and
mm,
animations. Kaioken
right,
overhaul, new accessories, like all this was in the span of like a month, and then Purunga Dragon Balls as well. Um,
exactly. It was just a wallop of content, and it was so good.
it was just like I literally got concerned because I was like, Sonny, I'm uploading too frequently. Please space out the updates. It does not have to be every single damn day of my life where I wake up, I'm like, oh my god, there's 10 new moves in the game. Gotta get up and go record that. Like, and then like, cause as a YouTuber with a game like DBOG, which isn't like super content based right now, um, obviously there's gonna be more updates hinted in the future to help like new like modes and stuff. But
All right.
like spacing out uploads is something that I try to do frequently. So if I
Mm-hmm.
have like a lot of videos stored up, I'll start uploading every 2 or 3 days or so. And if I don't have much and not much is going on, it might be like 5 days or like
Right.
a week even. But
Hold on, just to get a little bit off topic for a second.
yeah.
I remember. Well, you mentioned Sling. What was your opinion? Because I've only heard Sling opinion from either Sling users or people who hated Sling. I want to hear it from like a casual viewpoint. Like, what do you think of it?
Okay, so the first time I saw Slingshot, um try not to like absolutely die of laughter. Okay. The first time I
Okay.
saw it, this was before a lot of people were doing it. I was in a tournament with my friend Karma, who was also sort of in my position. He was also a
Mm-hmm.
YouTuber from Final Stand. We've known each other for a while, but anyway, viewers of my channel know who he is. But we were in a tournament, right, and we entered and we lost, but we made it pretty far because it was like there was a lot of casual players in it, and we were like me and Karma, I'd like to say, were at least like good at using the mechanics in the game properly, right?
Right.
And then we encountered the slingshot users, like the two of them that were in the tournament, because this was I think it was before Super Saiyan was added, so before Namek. But these dudes were in the finals and they were fighting. They didn't get out of green till about 8 minutes into their fight.
What?
Yeah. So the defense bar, like, so they would go in and hit each other and vanish, right? And they wouldn't be able to hit each other again until that defense bar has already came back. So it's just an infinite fight, really. And yes, people are
Right.
gonna bring out and say, "Oh, that was really early. They've gotten better at hitting each other now." And it's like, yeah, but that also means that they got better at dodging each other too. So
So it's still infinite.
it's almost like at times it can go to infinity. I've seen these videos of people fighting and slingshotting it, like you can barely see them. It's like ironic because it's a Dragon Ball Z game, but you could literally barely keep up with it with human eyes. And it's like, yes, visually that might look like Dragon Ball, but all you're doing is like holding A and shift and left click and like D
Yeah.
occasionally and S and W,
Like
like you're
holy
holding.
shit! From a spectator, it looks awesome. But when I'm fighting against one, like, it didn't. I wasn't really bothered by it because I wasn't a PvP person that much. I'd either be on DBOG helping friends or chatting, to be honest.
Yeah. So this
But
is
when I would spar, going against Sling, it was like I barely see the opponent. It's like I'm like
yeah.
seeing their little lines that when they
Yeah.
vanish.
So and
So
then
it's like being beat the shit out of from a ghost or some shit.
my favorite, I'll get back to my topic and opinion and everything, but my favorite sling
Mhm.
analogy was I was talking to Sonny about it once, and he sent me a screenshot of what Chang feels about it, and he sent that gif of Majin Buu fighting Candy Vegito, and Candy Vegito is just flying around him, and Majin Buu's like punching left and right, and then he gets tired, and Candy Vegito, like he's still punching, and Candy Vegito stopped moving, and he's still like trying to find him.
That's literally what it
That's literally
is.
what it feels like when you're slingshotting. Um, so with my opinion on it, like sure, like we'll give you the benefit of doubt. Let's just say, for example, that it took as much skill as people said it did, right?
Hmm.
Uh, there's still connection to it, and no matter what, it's a Roblox game. The servers aren't perfect because it's a Roblox game.
Right.
There will be times where I've literally slowed down clips and I've seen the most bullshit things like in PvP fights, like using a counter and like the frame that like my the orange circle that appears that says the counter's
Yeah, where the
active.
counter pops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the frame that happens, I look at my health and I take damage, and like the counter doesn't go off. Stuff like that, and it's just like with Sling, there's like if you go in for a punch and you miss for whatever reason, say like hitbox or whatever, you mistime it, and someone goes for a counter there, it's like, oh, I predicted the counter. It's like, no, you didn't. You just fucking missed. Like, I don't know, man. It's just I don't like it. I think there's a much better way to capture a Dragon Ball Z feel in a PvP standpoint than Candy Vegeta versus Super Buu, to be honest.
Right.
Um Ways I would get around it is like people are like, "Oh, it looks like Dragon Ball Z." And it's like, "Yeah, some scenes of Dragon Ball Z look like that, but what about the scenes where Vegeta's over there on a mountain charging the final flash and like the earth is shaking? Like where does that come into
Yeah.
play? It doesn't, cuz nobody uses supers when they're slingshotting. And if they do, they're using broken supers like SS Dudley Hammer or stuff, which I also
Fuck
use.
that move.
But like just like stuff like that, man. Like it's like you there needs to be different ways to capture Dragon Ball Z than just that, because honestly, if Sunny wants to capture that and say, "Oh, that looks really cool. I like that," then make it an actual animation. Like make it
Right.
some sort of way for clashing to be a thing. Like melee clashing.
Melee clashing actually used to be a thing back in beta, where it was just testers. It
Mhm.
I don't remember the reason why he removed it. My biggest theory is that it broke. Like it probably didn't
Yeah,
fit well.
it probably just broke.
But so like how it worked, it was mm, okay. So it was basically if you're attacking at the same time, you'd basically zip everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you know in the show, like if you're like you're punching at
Just
the
like
same time, you're teleporting different places.
in Final Stand, yeah, the same thing happens rarely. Where if two attacks collide at the exact same time, it'll teleport you somewhere else. And sometimes it'll glitch out with like supers. So like, are you familiar with Final Stand moves?
Oh yeah, I play Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so like if you use like Meteor Crash and Punisher Drive at the same time or whatever, and the Punisher Drive would start like making you flip around the place and like in the Meteor Crash as well, it would look so dope.
Yeah,
Um,
I know exactly what you're talking about. When I used the Punisher move, I used it during training with Goku in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, and like you know, Goku sometimes has super armor, so then he starts attacking me, and then we're like zipping everywhere around.
oh
I know
yeah,
what you're talking about. Yeah,
that's how you have to capture that. That it shouldn't be like the actual gameplay. The actual gameplay, if I were Sunny, I would make it more like how Dragon Ball looks, to where it's like more strategy and ability than, you know, flying around each other at the speed of light. Cause like, yes, that's cool as a story plot thing, but you look at criticism from Dragon Ball Super and the fight choreography is not there because that's all they're doing is flying around at the speed of at the speed of like light or whatever, right?
yeah,
That's a big criticism with Dragon Ball Super, is that the fight choreography isn't as good as Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, where like you can see things happening and it's not like oh, they're moving so fast. It's like, yeah, they're moving so fast so humans can't see it, but like that didn't stop it in Dragon Ball because it was the exact same case in Dragon Ball, like
yeah,
the original. So there were scenes where like they'd move and then the audience would just be like, well, they're invisible, and then you can literally see the like like whatever 11 blows Goku did on that guy or whatever.
yeah,
Like it just that way to do it is just so much better because not only are you adding more strategy to the game with thinking and everything, like, oh, he's flying at me, is he gonna commit to it or is he not? Or is it a bait, or is he gonna shoot a Kamehameha, or is he gonna do a blast, or is he gonna like blind me or do some weird shit or power up or whatever? Like it's you gotta it just has to be different than how slingshotting is, because slingshot is like, I don't care what anybody says, it's not fun. If you had fun with Slingshot, it's because you're probably salty that you trained for it for like hours and hours or whatever in practice, because
yeah.
you know apparently it takes that long.
I
Um,
I really call bullshit on that. Like I
yeah,
don't think maybe working on the timing, but it doesn't take that long.
yeah, it's just like And another thing you have to look at is it's a Roblox game, so a lot of people in the community are younger as well. So they're just not able to look at it from that standpoint, and they're just looking at it at like, oh, that's the meta that I'm good at. Why would I want it away? Right? But it's like
Uh-huh.
you can't look at it like that. Final stand players used to look at it like that as well, and it just like you just can't look at it like that. You have to look at it from everyone's standpoint. And every single poll that's ever been made by Sunny that's like slingshot yes or no, it's like huge majority no. Like not huge
Oh
majority,
yeah.
right? But like
It's no, you're right. It's huge because like the most recent one
was it?
was
I
like
remember it more being like 7-3, which I guess is a huge majority.
it's huge. I
Yeah.
think it was pretty big. That's like it was like most of his players. So
Yeah,
that didn't want it in. So that was just a like it's not completely like Sling is obviously still there.
it's just
it's just
a little worse, yeah. And stuff
yeah,
like
it's
the
just a bit
blocking
bad.
update. So another thing that I noticed that Sunny does is he looks at he'll add something like the blocking update, right? Which at first looked really good, cause like he blocked the move and he vanished behind them and like started hitting them. That's not gonna
Uh-huh.
work in an actual PvP fight, cause you block the move and you vanish behind them and they're already 10 feet away from you, cause
That's
they're gonna
true.
run away after they get
That's
blocked.
true.
Like
Flying, bro. There's so much speed. Like you're just getting out of there.
yeah, honestly, there there just like has to be when you're in combat there needs to be something you can do to get out of combat quick, like faster, maybe, or some. Or no, never
Like
mind.
you think
Because
that lasts too
what I'm thinking
long?
of is NPC fight. Never mind, and he already removed that. If the person dies, you leave
Yeah.
combat.
I was about to mention
So,
that. Yeah, if you kill them, it goes away.
or if you reset even. But honestly, just like making it so slow to the point where you just like you're forced to be in combat with them. Like you're forced to actually be there and like trade blows with them. And if you try to fly away, you're gonna be so slow that like these homing blasts will actually be able to catch you.
So
Shit like
forced
that.
combat.
Yeah, for that would be a good idea in my opinion. It's just like when you get in combat, you shift fly and it's like incredibly slow. Like slow enough to where like an energy blast, like the barrage energy blast type moves, the volleys
Huh?
can catch you.
Huh? Like I'm gonna have to disagree on you now because uh, slowness doesn't fit in the genre of Dragon Ball. I do agree to the certain point where we shouldn't be so freaking fast, but to make us slow to the point where even those little energy balls can hit us, that's a bit too slow. Like I'd rather still want to run around and like dodge stuff, like because if I don't want to like waste my block, like I'm gonna
Yeah,
need the flying is also dodging. Like you need a dodge. Like you
yeah,
don't want to if your block meter is gone, what are you gonna do? Like you're gonna get stamina broke, or you run.
yeah.
I
There's
suggest running.
that is a good point as well to bring up about it, but it just has to be different than how it is. How you do that? There's a lot of devs in the dev team, right? You guys can figure it out. But
Yeah,
it just
they'll
it
come up with
can't be
something.
slingshot. It just anything but that.
I don't really. That's not coming back. That is no way.
Yeah. But even how the game is now, like people are still like launching towards people to try to connect hits. I don't know how to describe it, but comparing the PvP to Final Stand and DBOG, it's just night and day for me. Like, and I'm not just saying that because I'm good at PvP in Final Stand or was, like a year ago or whatever. But
Hmm.
like, it just feels more clean in Final Stand. It's like it feels weirder. And I prefer DBOG combat any day. Like fighting NPCs in DBOG is more fun than like anything in like Final
Oh yeah,
Stand, in my opinion.
I agree.
Because the NPCs don't slingshot you, like, and they're getting smarter too in the new updates. But if they like
Mm.
had actual brains, like a person, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're fighting someone and they're playing the game how the combat suggests you play, like in the features in the game suggest you play, then it's fun. and it's so much fun, and I could do it for hours. Like when I fought Sunny on stream in space a few days ago or a few weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
however long ago it was, that was a lot of fun because we were both playing the game. Obviously, Sunny was playing the game how it's meant to be played because he made the damn game, right?
Yeah.
He's the one who
Correct.
designed it to be like that, and I was just sort of fighting how he fought because I also believe that the game should be played like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just force someone to play like that, right? That's why I don't really care for DBOG PvP anymore. Like I love PvPing friends like Vegito, for example, which is
Yeah.
Yobama as well. Um um he's fun to fight because he plays the game how like or he knows how to play the game like that. Like he doesn't exclusively do that, but he knows how to do that, right?
Right.
So that's just sort of why that's just sort of how I've started to play the game. It's just like that, I feel. Just using more of the game's features.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I feel you. I feel you. So here's another question. So I've seen the video. You were in the video. Space. How you liking it so far? From what you've seen,
Space is fun, man. It's
do you think it's gonna be like because Earth is pretty much the hangout spot. That's where everybody
yeah.
spawns. So we see their friends. Like, how do you think this? Do you think space is gonna be like that too?
To be honest with you, I don't know, to be honest. Because it's such a big map that like if you guys were to spawn in, right, and like you go to like an whatever planet you want to go to, then I'd say yeah. It's just like it's such a big map that like yeah, it could be like that, but I feel like people are gonna go to space to do their quests and then they're gonna leave, right?
Uh huh.
That's how I look at it, but it visually it's very appealing. The movement in it is smoother than Final Stands in my opinion, like the space pod and everything. It's and the
Uh
planets
huh.
just I like how you physically land in a planet and it just makes your space pod slower when you get in the atmosphere over just Final
Right.
Stand where it forces you to land if you're in your space pod. Um,
I
I
like how the
like it.
space ball has an inside too. That's that's
Yeah,
that's pretty unique.
I like it, man. I like space a lot. I'm lucky enough to have seen quests and NPCs in there as well. And let me tell you, man, there's a quest in space. It's like it's gonna take you like an hour at least.
This is Broly.
No, not Broly.
No, Broly's gonna take longer.
Broly's
Like,
gonna
oh
take an hour himself, yes, but like
yeah.
not what I'm referring to. I can't say, but it's 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 a ride, man. It's a ride. That's for sure. I like space a lot. I'm looking forward to it, to the
All right.
community's
Great.
reaction.
Great. Great. So here's a topic I was actually talking about earlier with a couple of my friends. I think supers need to be, I mean, not supers, ultimates. Most definitely, they need to be buffed. Not in damage, but in the quality, not the quality. I'm trying to find the word. Okay, for example, I'm gonna just put in an example. I do not like how, let's say I'm about to shoot a super Kamehameha. I charged all the way up and I'm shooting that shit right at you.
Mhm.
And then this player just shoots a regular Kamehameha and we're clashing. I'm
Mhm.
like, what's going on? Why? How is he competing against me? I'm using my very strong ultimate, and he's using a regular key blast. Only took 300.
You're giving credit where the credit shouldn't be given as well in a PvP match. No player in DBOG would actually clash with you if they see you charging a Kamehameha.
Oh yeah, of course.
But
But like,
I see what you mean.
it also comes to the point where like, let's say
That's adding to your
since the
point as
new
well.
feature, yeah, the new feature heavy stamina break, right?
Mhm.
It's basically like if once you heavily stamina broke, it's like you're stamina broken, but you can't move, so you're basically screwed.
Mhm.
So let's say I'm targeting a spirit bomb and I throw it at them. But if they get up, they like I don't think ultimate should be blocked.
Like at all?
or deflected. You either have to get out the way or perfect block. Either one of those two, because they're ultimates. They shouldn't be taken just as lightly as supers, because they take more ultimates take way more longer to charge, way more longer to land, because the ultimates, let's be honest, no one really
You're
lands
lagging a bit.
ultimates unless it's a rush or the ult counter,
You're
because those like because they take too long, because they take too long to charge up and shoot it. So if it like I don't like some random just to block a damn spirit bomb. It just makes no sense. I hate it.
your mic's
Like
lagging a
like
bit, but I think I
I'm
understood
throwing
everything.
huge ball of energy I just charged up. Yeah. Hey,
You there?
I'm bugging.
Your mic's lagging a lot.
Hello?
Yeah?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened. Where were we?
What you were saying is what I got is that um they shouldn't be handled the same as supers because it takes a lot longer to charge up and like hit and everything. So some random
Yeah,
shouldn't be able to just block that spirit bomb that you just spent all that time charging.
yeah,
This is
exactly. A
this
block
is my
deflected, they
opinion on it.
shouldn't be.
There needs to be a mini game or whatever for blocking stuff like ultimates like that, and hear me out. So say in Battle of Gods, you remember that scene where they're in space, right? And Goku like pretty sure he's in base or whatever, or in Super Saiyan, and Beerus throws the God Sphere at him, and he's like struggling to push that shit back.
Right?
It's like a
Oh, you think it should
clash.
be like that?
It's like a clash, but instead of a beam clash, it's like a block versus a beam, like a blast, right?
Ah,
What I'm thinking here is that like there are some awesome scenes in Dragon Ball with beam and blast clashing that aren't even like a beam versus beam or energy blast versus energy blast. There just needs to be like something to it to where like that gives that sort of feel to the game from Dragon Ball Z, like like hearing the awesome Falconer tracks or whatever, or if you don't like Falconer, then whatever awesome Dragon Ball Z themes that you imagine when you think Dragon Ball Z, right? Whatever theme song
uh-huh.
you imagine. You have that playing in the background. Vegeta struggling to push this blast back from some villain in space or whatever. Like, just imagine shit like that. And it's like the awesome
That would
song is playing. Moments like
that would
that
be
for
actually
me,
very dramatic. Uh-huh.
yeah, moments like that for me, the drama is just like that's more Dragon Ball Z than anything else is to me. The
True.
hardcore screaming, the blast, the struggle, every
The
like the
suspense.
struggling
Yeah.
and the suspense, and those two, the struggle and the suspense, those are the two things that Dragon Ball Z has that it does perfectly, in my opinion. And
All right.
with your point, charging up a spirit bomb for this level 2 to deflect it, like yeah, that doesn't make sense. So how I think the
All right.
game should be handled is, you know how like Majins can't absorb people that aren't within 100 levels of them?
Yeah.
In my opinion, you need to be within 100 levels of someone to even give them a challenge at all. And it's like, yeah, you could be like, oh, but skill. It's like, yeah, well, fuck your skill. I'm Beerus, dumbass. You're base Goku. You are not winning. Like, you, that's just how I see it. So, like, say
I won't. Uh-huh.
some guy in Namek, right? I go to Namek,
Right.
um, I'm level like 300 or 400, and I have Super Saiyan 3, and
Mm-hmm.
this guy's in full Super Saiyan or in like second form Frieza, and he starts fighting me. What am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna charge a beam and beam clash him so that he can get his auto clicker out and beat me? No. I'm gonna fucking one shot him. Um,
You know?
and the
I,
problem, the only problem that I can think of with that is like random killers, and it's like, yeah, that is a big problem. But
mm-hmm.
it's one counter to that, it's Dragon Ball Z. Goku didn't complain when Frieza came over and tried to steal the Dragon Balls. He beat his ass. That's what happened. So and I know it's
I
not the
actually
same because you don't
really
have plot
agree
armor.
of what you said about if I'm stronger than you, then I'm stronger than you. Like I
Yes.
completely agree with that. There was this really old My Hero Academia game, right?
Mhm.
It probably has it's still one of my favorite. They handled stats in the way I loved so much. So like for example, I'm level 1. I just start I'm looking around, testing out my quirk and shit, having the funnest time of my life.
Hell yeah.
I meet you. I meet you. You're not max, but you're like level 200. I
Mhm.
think you're cool. And then here's the cool part. Since I'm level 1 and you're a higher level, you have way more agility than me, right? Agility. If I try to punch you, you're dodging it. Like it's an auto dodge because you're way faster than me.
Mhm.
Like he start and it was such a cool thing to see because like it wasn't a chance thing. It was like I'm way slower than this guy, so
Yeah.
there's no way
That's
I'm
good.
going to hit him.
I love that, yeah.
And not only that, if you were stronger than me, it was a really cool visual effect. If you were stronger than me and you punched me, it's literally you're gonna see like a shockwave and a whole knockback
Yeah.
due to how strong you are than me. If
Another
I were closer to your level, that knockback wouldn't be there. But since I'm lower, it's gonna be exaggerated because you're that much stronger.
another cool thing that could imply is like if you punch someone, not only like if they're like if this was to be in the DBOG, if someone tries to hit me and I'm moving, then that dodge would be cool. If someone tries to hit me and I'm standing completely still, I'm a wall and I tank that shit. And it literally just I
Yeah,
no
like
sell it. Like
they do that in Dragon Ball too. Like if I'm
when
if
Frieza
you're
punches
stronger than me,
Goku and Goku just sort
yeah,
of looks at him
and just eats it, bro. It was like
and eats that shit. Yes, that is another aspect. So yes, that would be really cool. Like just cool animations like that. And the only problem, like I said, is random killers. Cause like everybody, whenever a new
Mhm,
saga comes out, you're grinding up anyway, right? If you're level
right?
100 and you're going around picking fights with level 400s, what are you doing? Go grind.
Yeah.
Go grind. Okay? That's what type of game this needs to be. And if you want a PvP, then you gotta find someone your level. Because in Dragon Ball Z, if Krillin wants to go fight someone and he's like, he wants to spar, he goes to Tien. He does not go to Goku or
True.
Vegeta. So you got
And
that's
another way, another thing that could possibly like so let's say I don't think we should outrule the whole fact that I can't fight a stronger opponent. So here's an alternative. I've seen a lot of fans actually suggest this. The power I mean the
power
a setting
suppression.
to like change yeah, like to change how much strength you're using basically.
Yes, that would be good. It's just like in Final Stand, only Final Stands is scuffed.
Final
So
Stand is I feel like I got cuffed. I
it's pretty
bought that
scuffed.
game pass and it's literally just lowering your key. I'm like, what?
Well, it lowers your damage too, but
It
that's about
does?
it. Yeah, it lowers your
Uh,
damage and your key. That's all it does. You're still a tank. You're still
lame.
fast as shit. But anyway, I agree with that. Like a power meter, like I don't think it should be a game. To be honest with you, anything that like a Namek Saga character can do, I feel like should just be free. Cause Namek Saga character, even Saiyan Saga characters are doing that, right? But Vegeta learns how to do it in the Namek Saga. So let's just say
Yeah.
you know, um, like anything like that, a character can just freely do. I should be able to freely do in the game. And
I
like
I agree.
there's differences with Gravity Chamber as well because it's like, oh, why isn't Gravity Chamber free then? It's like, well, are you close friends with Bulma? No, 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 you're not. Who built that? Bulma.
just just barring this.
So,
Like who's gonna stop me? Bulma? No, I'm using it.
well, yeah, but then she calls Vegeta and he fucking kicks your ass.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's the
But
problem.
that's the problem. But like, yeah, that's why you gotta pay for it, right? So and
Yeah.
it speeds up progression anyway. Having
Yeah.
having suppression and stuff like that is like for sure like that. that should be in the game, I feel.
That could also suppression could also be a kind of training method. To be honest, like
Yeah.
another idea, I was kind of I was talking with my friend also because we love DBOG. Like even though I can still play it, I love talking about it and thinking about new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying, why not add a weighted clothing feature? So like it would make you slower and your attacks weaker. It basically make you weaker, but like if you complete a quest, you get twice the EXP. It would just be harder to complete the quest.
Yeah. And another thing is if you have a quest active, you can't change clothes.
Oh
Would
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
another
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can't take
That
it
oh
off.
yeah, way yeah, oh yeah,
Remember that. Cuz then you just, you beat the quest, he's 1 boss is 1 HP, you put your clothes on. Oh, I did it.
mm,
Or maybe just combat itself with the clothing on would help, but that would just cause random killing on other players and just like spam
right.
fighting the same low level NPC or whatever. Um
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I that's a good idea, to be honest. I agree with that as well. And it helps for PvP and everything too. Like, imagine getting your ass beat by someone with 50% suppression, weighted clothing on, and he's in base. Like,
Right. Look at that
yikes.
disrespect.
That would be great. But yeah, I feel that that would be great. Just everything that, like, and once we get stuff like that in, like the suppression, we fix the PvP crisis that's going on, right? We have like all
Mm-hmm.
these new ways of like getting XP. You know, hopefully hyperbolic time
Right.
chamber comes soon. Um,
Oh yeah, most
just
def. I'm excited for that one.
just stuff like that. Um, Another thing that I wanted to talk about is like how super attacks work, really. Um, and this is just my opinion. With how super attacks work, and I just wanted to talk about this because I feel like a lot of people don't see this, and like it's a criticism for the game that's not warranted. How super attacks should be working and like how people should be using them, and why people should be using them more is that like there are certain super attacks that you use while punching someone and that you use after a knockback, right? Those are like the two ways you use a super, right?
Right.
So like if you're a melee user, you're more commonly doing it while punching someone. And if you're a key user, you're
Yeah.
more commonly using it with a knockback. But there are still moves for both that you can do. You can do a follow rush, like the chase moves, like Kaioken Assault or whatever, as a melee user after a knockback. And as with a key user, there are moves like Dirty Fireworks and Death Saucer, I believe, works as well, that you can use while punching
Right.
people, right?
Right.
People just don't understand that for some reason. Um, and I feel like this is just a better way that like to keep key and melee users more even, because that is another debate in the game, like, oh, which is better, a key or
It,
melee?
that,
It's like,
it's a huge debate because Key's kind of dominating right now.
yeah, it's got like key is dominating the cheese factors, and then like melee is like with slingshot everything is
Right.
dominating there. But like you can if you can key combo someone, then yeah. But like what I'm going with here is that there are situations where you can use both, like melee moves and key moves, like in the same way with each other. So like honestly, it should just be reskins of each other, in my opinion. Like it shouldn't really
Uh.
matter much. Like melee and
Uh
key
huh.
are just reskins of each other. And
I
like
mean, you're not even wrong. Like reskins and then like different animations. That's pretty much what it is.
yeah, so like if you prefer seeing the cool energy blasts, then like yeah, be key. Or if you prefer seeing like if
It's
you
just
prefer
reference
boxing
value.
someone up, then like yeah, be melee, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, I just feel like everybody should be more balanced with like and then their race should debate whether like which one you are. I don't think anyone should have like zero melee all key or all melee no key. Like with my
I
Saiyan
mean,
right
glass
now,
cannons.
yeah. And with my Saiyan right now, I have more melee damage because that's more common for how I fight with NPCs and everything. Because the melee combat against NPCs is just so much fun. But
Mm-hmm.
after I like teleport, I like launch them in the air, do a sledgehammer and knock them to the ground. I want to do a beam after that, right?
Right.
Like
Because it looks cool.
that just looks cool. It's appealing, or like an energy blast volley or whatever, right? So if I want to do that,
No.
I should be able to do that effectively too. I shouldn't just have no key damage and just do that and it does nothing. So I feel like personally, melee supers are easier to connect usually, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why people use them more
yeah, so then they should do less damage, and key supers are harder to connect, so they should do more
because you
damage.
can just deflect
You could
it
just dodge them,
or
yeah.
just dodge.
So there are easy things you can do to just adjust the scaling of this game and scaling of just these features that the game has with like key and melee, that if we just listen to the community and more ideas and stuff, because another thing that people are like is like, oh, the devs don't listen to us. It's like, well, did you just see the new announcement that was announced? The power ups. Pretty sure that was literally just
Right.
a community thing that got
That
spammed.
that I am so happy about.
It's a great feature.
It's a beautiful idea, and I can't wait to use
Pretty
it.
sure community came up with it too. Like I remember seeing, especially that press T to use feature about it. Like
Uh
that's
huh.
like that screams community to me, right?
It does.
Personally, another thing like similar to this is like press K to do the Kaioken. Like if like you know how you hold a G to see your transformations?
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you hold K, you should be able to see your Kaioken. Like Kaioken should be different than your transformations. So that way you could see all your levels of
How
Kaioken.
come?
Just like it's not I'm not saying like, oh, Kaioken is a technique, not a transformation, because I fucking hate that debate. It's like, who cares?
Uh,
It's both. It's a transformation because it changes your appearance, and it's a technique because it's a technique. Like it's just like
uh-huh.
it doesn't matter. Like it's the same with Ultra Instinct. Nobody really cares. And if you do, then you're weird. But like
Yeah.
eventually when the game gets more transformations, like I'm not gonna have enough room, right? So if I can
True.
hold K for Kaioken, that way I'm not like misclicking Kaioken or whatever as well. Like it just adds more
I
options to the
did
game.
think that too. Like a quick, like I was thinking about utilizing like the K for like a quick cow can
Yeah, a
would
quick Kaioken as
on
well. You just tap K and it does your
because like how Goku used it when he first got Kaioken was in short bursts. Like he wasn't
mm-hmm.
always staying in red. He would just go Kaioken, beat the shell of them, and then
Another
turn it
thing
back
is you
off.
should be able to do it mid animation. Would be dope as well. Like you just press K mid animation, your move is doing more damage, right? Like say you do a
Yeah.
meteor combination, you hit them, then you activate that Kaioken, right?
Hmm.
Another thing is that the transformation bar, how it works with mastery and everything, since you can't stack mastery with forms anymore, um, or you can't stack Kaioken with forms anymore unless it's mastered, right? Mastered form and
Yeah.
mastered Kaioken. Um, what I feel like Sunny just needs to get rid of the transformation bar if you master the form, so it's not there. And that way, if you're not using Kaioken, it's recovering, even if you're in your form.
Wait. So like
It should recover
you
slowly
can.
still, but like
Oh, slowly. Then yeah. Yeah.
yes, but like the thing is it's isn't it just useless being able to stack Kaioken if you pop it in the fight, you have it for the 10 seconds or whatever you have it, and then like you need to either die to get it back again, or you need to go base to get that back. Like that.
True. True.
And
Yeah.
since it's not
I
like an
agree with that.
automatic activation, like how we're saying, like just press K to do it, even mid animation. Like since it's not like that, um, that timer for it is a lot like higher than, or it's a lot lower technically would be the correct terminology.
Uh huh.
Um, when you activate it during the animation, it's still taking that time down. You use your move, right? You have to wait until after the move animation plays, and then you could turn it off. And by then, like, and if you're not using a move, you're just doing basic melee. You have to make sure you're in a safe position to turn it off, right?
Right.
So
Right.
like, it's just that timer is misleading. It's a lot. You have a lot less time than it says you do, especially for times 20. So
Oh, Tom 20 is a drain, bro.
yeah, so like it just needs to recover like while you're fighting. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
as you're fighting and doing damage, or like as you're taking damage, it could recover. Something like that. But
All right, I feel that.
it's just
So,
like when your
oh,
form
you
is
want, yeah,
mastered, it's just still there,
uh-huh.
the transformation bar. That's all I'm saying. So
You're right.
it could be changed.
So, like, since we're, hmm, okay, we're gonna finish off soon, but with this one last question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Sony also pinged in possibilities that the return of swaying is possibly it would be back. Do you know what sway is, or should I explain?
I have no clue what you're talking about. Please explain.
All right. So sway was an old. It was on BT3 and it was an old mechanic back in beta in DBOG. Mind you, sway was absolutely broken. Like it used to be the like you know how the power ups he just pinged for. It used to be the T button. That's what sway used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So swaying was basically you hold T. It had its own meter. Yeah, if you hold T, you're dodging everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's ultra instinct. You're dodging everything. You hold T while that meter's there, you're dodging shit. It was basically
Basic
another
attacks,
defensive
right?
option, huh?
Just basic attacks, right?
But yeah, I don't remember, but it would
It shouldn't
still
do that for supers, but
if it was just basic attack, I would it would be fine. Like sling, I mean, sway needs to be nerfed. Like from what I when I used to be a tester, and oh, I'm still a tester, but when testing back then, when sway was still in the game, it was you either use sway or you're dying. Like
yeah.
if you don't dodge, if you're not pressing that button, you're dead.
Here, okay,
So
so
that's how utilized it was. It was like it was really good, but really broken.
is your question what I feel about it then?
Yeah. Like how do you think another defensive option would be good for DBOG right now? Like swaying.
Here's the thing. With how DBOG is, it's very like open worldy kind of like with the combat
Uh-huh.
even. In games like Budokai, it sort of like puts you on that like 2D level. Like even though it's a 3D game, it puts you on that 2D level where um you're both like in striking distance of each other like at all times kind of.
Right.
Like in Xenoverse like as well. Um it's almost as if like how do I explain this? You know how in Minecraft you can't just place the blocks anywhere. It's sort of like there's a frame to it,
Yeah.
kind of. Like you can't like place a block in between another block, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that in those type of games where a mechanic like this would work because it's like you're always like in front of each other in striking distance, kind of when you're fighting. And in DBOG, it's so free to move around and stuff that like everyone's just already sort of always moving and always like flying around each other anyway. So like,
Right.
and when you vanish out of like a say I catch you in in a combo and you vanish, like we're already like it's like a restart already, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like we're already on like so many different levels and stuff. I just don't see it working, and I don't know how to explain this any better. I know I'm just spewing out bullshit. I don't know how else to explain it, but like it just doesn't it doesn't really feel like it would work in a game like DBOG, especially because the only combat in it is flying, and with how
Mm-hmm.
fast flying is and everything. So I just I just don't see it really working. But
Okay.
it would be cool to have, right? I don't think it would be super OP as long as it had its own meter and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one thing I do want, and I'll end I'll end the conversation here. But one
Okay.
thing that because we're almost at 50 minutes, but
Yeah.
with DBOG in combat and everything PvP, I feel like there needs with like meters and stuff. Those are very important to respect, and there needs to be more respect given to those. So with defense bars, like how I mentioned before, in the 8 minute fight, they were still in green or whatever, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
their defense bars would just come back. So there needs to, in my opinion, there needs to be like a rework with the bars and how they regenerate and everything. Like Just because like there needs to be times in the fight where you two just stop fighting and you start like getting your bars back, right?
Right.
Like there needs because that happens in the show. There are pauses in the show where they stop and they like look at each other and try to like restart the fight a little bit, right? It
True,
happens.
and they'll be like inner monologue saying, I can distract this guy to grab
Mm-hmm.
somebody's stamina back or something like that."
Or a perfect example would be, um, during the fight between Goku and Frieza on Namek. Frieza's like blasting through the smoke, and Goku says, "Oh, he can't see me," and he like starts to strategize because he can't sense his
Yeah.
energy. Just stuff like that, like pauses in the fight that are like, "What do I do?" Or when Goku's hiding under the water against Frieza, like pauses in the fight
Hmm.
where it's a restart where both people start rethinking about their strategy based on how much health they have, based on how much like defense bar
Yeah.
they
So it
have.
gives them a little bit of planning. Yeah.
In my opinion, I think the defense bars. I don't think a stamina break should be the end all be all of the fight. Um, I think the stamina breaks need to be like a lot, like they need to go by a lot faster. Um,
Really faster. Stamina.
yeah, and the defense. Well, you need to lose defense bars like when you like they need to
Oh! You
regenerate.
meant being hit by a stamina break. Okay. All right. You scared me for a second. I thought you meant stamina breaks need to come out faster, like they hit them faster.
No, like not the
Okay.
animation.
Good.
What I'm saying is like when when your defense bar is like so say you're vanishing a lot, right? I
Hmm.
think in my opinion the defense bars need to regenerate slower. That way more respect is given to those defense bars because it's like, "Oh, my defense bars are regenerating right now." It's like
Yeah, but
they
wouldn't that encourage running more? Because that's already one of the problems in DBOG.
okay, say you're low on defense and like say your opponent's low on defense, they start running. In my opinion, why not let them run? Yes, they're low on defense. Are you low on defense? If the answer is yes, then let them run. Get space. That's the pause in the fight. That's the choreography that we're looking for. If
Hmm.
you are not low on defense and you're in control, then there needs to be ways to catch that runner and catch that guy. Let's look at moments in this series. Are there moments in this series where someone's running away and someone's trying to find them? Yes. Let's look at I believe Krillin running away from second form Frieza, or Vegeta, I
Hmm.
believe also did it. Um, they start running away. He turns around, Frieza's not there. He looks in front of him, Frieza's just standing there.
Freezes there, yeah.
There just needs to be like things in the game to stop the running, and there are mechanics in the game that encourage running, yes, but sometimes that's a good thing and sometimes that's a bad thing. We need to figure out what things we can do that are bad things to catch people. So what I was thinking was a mechanic where like you sacrifice a defense bar and in return you get like a free stun on them somehow. Like you vanish towards them and like it like stuns them for a second and you can hit them. And like that could be
That.
broken,
Uh
but
huh.
that could be broken and OP. But if you think about it, you're still sacrificing a defense bar.
How about this? How about this? Why don't you? I think I kind of like this. No, I won't lie to you. But
A lot
instead
of
of it
people
being
won't.
one, yeah, but instead of it being one stamina bar, make it be just as much as an evasive because, like you said, that's pretty broken.
Yeah.
So
But the thing is
if it
like,
takes as much as an evasive, they'll be more smarter about it and more conservative because
yeah,
evasive takes a lot. So
yeah, and instead of an evasive, it's like an evasive but for offense.
yeah.
So like, think about what situation would you use this would you use this move in? Because it is a risky move to do. And let's say for example it can be blocked, right?
Uh
So
huh.
like if someone is just full blocking, then they can do it. But it shouldn't be easy to react to. It should be like final blow and final stand, only faster even, because final blow is easy to react to.
Uh
Um,
huh.
what I think is that the reason this move is in the game, this mechanic, is to catch those runners, right? So back
Right.
to what I was saying. why is a reason someone runs? Their defense bar is low. Is yours low? No. So you catch them and you sacrifice your defense bars that you have that you built up because you have an advantage in the fight to
Mm-hmm.
track him and to get him, and you can stun him and you can continue your combo, right?
Right.
That's how I feel about it. Um, and then say your defense bar is low and they're running. Why would you chase them? Like, yeah, you want to keep up offense, but at the same time, and a just as good ulterior or alternate um strategy would be to get your own stamina back and catch your own breath, right?
True.
That's a
Yeah.
pause in the fight,
Let's
like we
just
were
hope.
talking about.
Let's just hope they're not a Namekian or a Majin, because they could just be running away to heal.
Yeah, that is one thing, but to be fair, if races that run away to heal, there needs to be a built-in downside to them, in my opinion. Like
I
races
mean,
that can
the
heal,
long cooldown is the downside.
yeah, but what I'm saying is that like it shouldn't be looked upon as cheese when a Majin heals. That's their ability, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do. There needs to be
Uh,
like something to
mhm.
stop them from healing, but like
Just punch him or shoot a blast.
yeah, right? There it just
Like
the
they can't
healing takes a
cancel it. Plus,
while.
it takes way too long. So
Yeah, the animation plays a while. It just like if you're letting someone run, there needs to be like a way to, in my opinion, the animation should be able to be canceled, but in turn,
fake out.
yeah, like a fake out. But in turn, like you're adding like a 5 second cooldown to it after you fake. And then and another like thing about it is if we say we add this mechanic that we're talking about, this vanish towards someone, say they're healing, right? You vanish towards
Uh huh.
them, they can either fake out and like stop so that the fight can continue and like you stop them from healing, or just
Uh
like
huh.
something like that, right? Like it stops them from healing. They have to be on their guard. They could fake out, and you could fake out the fake out by just not even doing anything to begin with. There needs
Right.
to be blasts that are like really quick and fast, like a like key blast cannon, right? Like a move like that
Yeah.
kind of, where like it's like just a shockwave. Super Saiyan Goku does it against Frieza. Like a whole bunch of characters do this, where they just sort of put their hand out. And it's like an invisible blast, right?
Hmm.
Something like that should be in the game, where like almost like as long as you're locked on to the person you're fighting, then like it would hit, right?
Right.
And in
But
my and
with that, hmm
and one more thing is, in my opinion, in ranked, the matches, the arenas, because ranked is the only place where PvP would even matter anyway, to be fair. Like if you're
yeah.
just PvPing in the open world and someone's cheesing, then just stop fighting them. It's not that deep. Like you won.
Hmm.
If they have to go and heal and cheese, like then you won, right? But
Right.
like in ranked, you shouldn't be able to lock off of the opponent. Like and I shouldn't I'm not saying it like, oh, like no matter how far away you run, you shouldn't be able to lock off. I feel like the arena needs to be that small.
Oh wait. So wait. Oh, you think arena should have like hard lock on? Like you can't just let go. You're forever looking at your opponent.
Yes, but not in the way like of like no matter how far away they go, you can't lock off. What I mean
Uh
is
huh.
like the arena should be so small that like no matter what, you can't lock off anyway. Or like it like by running it wouldn't unlock off you. That's what I
I can
mean.
dig it.
So
Yeah, I can
like,
dig that.
cause you know how if someone runs away enough, you just unlock off of them like
Yeah.
automatically because there's too far away to be locked onto.
Yeah.
Like the arena should be that small in ranked, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that. Maybe even some key attacks may land.
Yeah, so that way key attacks can land, just more strategy to it. And we could talk a lot more about stuff, and I could give more opinions on like how these would be balanced, because I know a lot of my ideas for the game, like a lot of people are gonna say, oh yes, but like a lot of people are gonna be like, no, don't do that. He's crazy.
Y-
How could he say
Yeah.
that? But it's like you just gotta think about it more, and you gotta think about my intentions on why I'm saying that. Because like people will look at like the vanish thing where you sacrifice 2 bars to hit someone. It's like, oh, that's so OP. But it's like, why am I suggesting that? It's because there's already problems in the game, and that would be a fix
Uh-huh.
to a problem, right? Like, yes,
Right.
it would cause more problems maybe, but if done like incorrectly or like if done like without looking at something properly. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just how developing is. We just gotta design it properly. And us making these suggestions isn't so much, oh, add this to the game. Like it's more like add this to the game because of this, right?
Great.
Like we're suggesting stuff because of other things, like sway and everything. Like all of it is because of something else. So you shouldn't don't like rage in the comments about ideas that I have because they're not gonna get added. Like Sonny's just not gonna add it just because someone says to add it, right? He's gonna look at it and he's gonna like see what other people think, see how it would work in game, test on it and stuff, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
nothing me or Pico just says like should be added. Like if you don't like Sway and Pico's like, oh, I like Sway, right? Like just because he likes Sway doesn't mean it's gonna be put in the game. Or just because we don't like
Right.
Slingshot doesn't mean it's not going to be back in the game, even though it probably still isn't going to be back in the game. But that has nothing to
I
do
don't think.
with one person's opinion.
Mm.
But yeah,
All right.
that's all I wanted
Yeah.
to go
That should
over.
be a good place to end it off. All right. Thank you for watching the video, and I would like to thank Bobby for attending this podcast.
It was a lot of fun. Maybe sometime we can get like a lot of people on and just have like a like a
Oh
four or
yeah, maybe
five
one day.
man.
Maybe one day. This is all still new to me, but yeah,
Yeah,
maybe one day. I'll link your channel in the description, and like I said, thanks again for attending.
yeah, no problem. It was a lot of fun.
All right, I'll catch you later, man.
All right, see ya.